In the lush and vibrant village of Elara, cradled between the towering baobab trees and the meandering rivers, preparations were underway for what promised to be the most magnificent wedding the village had seen in generations. Elara was a place where tradition and joy intertwined seamlessly, and the upcoming wedding of Amara and Django was set to be the centerpiece of the year's celebrations. Amara was beloved throughout the village for her extraordinary voice. Her songs were more than mere melodies, they were an integral part of the village's cultural fabric. From the earliest days of her childhood, Amara had been praised for her ability to weave emotion into her singing, lifting the spirits of those around her. Her mother, who had passed away years earlier, had been a legendary singer, and Amara had inherited not only her talent but also her deep love for music. Django, her groom, was a figure of respect and admiration in the village. Known for his valor and integrity, Django had returned from a long journey to the far reaches of the land, bringing with him not only tales of adventure, but also the promise of a new beginning. His return had been celebrated with great fanfare, and his union with Amara was seen as a blessed event. The village square was transformed into a dazzling spectacle for the upcoming wedding. The air was filled with the scent of roasted meats and freshly baked bread, mingling with the sweet fragrance of flowering vines. Vendors set up colorful stalls displaying woven baskets, intricately carved wooden sculptures, and vibrant cloths. Lanterns, made from reeds and dyed in brilliant colors, were hung from the trees and tents, casting a warm, inviting glow over the entire area. Amara and Django were at the heart of the preparations, their joy evident in their smiles and the sparkle in their eyes. However, there was an underlying tension that Amara could not ignore. Despite the vibrant atmosphere, a deeply rooted taboo loomed over the wedding preparations. According to the customs of Elara, it was forbidden for the bride to sing or perform during her wedding. This tradition had been passed down through generations and was believed to protect the marriage and the community from misfortune. The village elder, Elder Amani, was a figure of great respect and authority. His wisdom and adherence to tradition were unwavering. As he prepared to announce the wedding to the gathered villagers, he called for a ceremonial assembly in the center of the square. The villagers, dressed in their finest attire, gathered eagerly to hear the news. Elder Amani stood tall and commanding, his ceremonial staff adorned with intricate carvings and beads that told the story of Elara's history. His deep, resonant voice cut through the chatter of the crowd as he began his address. "People of Elara," he proclaimed, "today we gather to celebrate a joyous union. Amara, our cherished songbird, and Django, our esteemed warrior, are to be wed in a ceremony that will unite not only their hearts but also our community in shared joy and celebration." A cheer rose from the crowd, and the village buzzed with excitement. The air was filled with laughter and animated conversation as villagers speculated about the feast, the music, and the festivities to come. The atmosphere was one of eager anticipation, but Elder Amani's voice grew more solemn as he continued. "It is essential that we uphold the traditions that have guided us through the ages. One such tradition is the sacred taboo that forbids the bride from singing or performing during her wedding. This custom has been observed by our ancestors to ensure that the marriage and our village are blessed with harmony and prosperity." The announcement was met with a mixture of responses. Some villagers nodded in understanding, accepting the taboo as a necessary measure. Others exchanged concerned glances, their expressions reflecting the internal conflict between their respect for tradition and their personal affection for Amara. Amara, standing at the edge of the gathering, felt a deep pang of sorrow as Elder Amani spoke. Her dream of singing at her wedding, a dream she had cherished since childhood, seemed to be slipping away. She had envisioned herself surrounded by loved ones, her voice filling the air with joy and love. The prospect of being unable to share this part of herself on the most important day of her life was a heavy burden. Django, observing Amara's distress, made his way to her side. His heart ached at the sight of her struggling with the weight of the tradition. Taking her hands gently in his, he looked into her eyes with empathy and determination. "Amara," he said softly, "I see the pain this tradition causes you. I wish there were a way to honor your voice and our customs simultaneously. We will find a solution, I promise." Amara squeezed his hands, her eyes filled with gratitude and uncertainty. Jengo, I do not want to cause trouble. I just cannot bear the thought of not being able to express my love through song. It feels like a part of me will be missing. Elder Amani, having observed the emotional exchange, approached them with a thoughtful expression. He had always been a custodian of tradition, but also recognized the significance of individual desires within the community. Perhaps, Elder Amani said, his voice carrying a note of contemplation, we can find a way to respect both our traditions and Amara's heartfelt wish. Let us consider a compromise that honors the spirit of our customs while also acknowledging the importance of Amara's voice. The villagers began to disperse, their conversations hushed as they absorbed the implications of the elder's words. The festive preparations continued, but a subtle undercurrent of tension persisted. Amara and Jengo, standing together amidst the festive chaos, understood that their path to the altar would require navigating the delicate balance between love, tradition, and personal dreams.